Should we shuffle cards first? I kind of feel like we should. How is everybody? Wheel of Fortune. What else we got? Page of Cups. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Nine of Pentacles. You're about that life, right? Ooh. Four of Cups. Are you though? How is everybody? How are we feeling? Are we good? What's up? Welcome back to Astro Chat Live Mondays with Jess from Bahati Life, if you guys don't know. QR Petty says it's your first time catching a live. Well, welcome to the Tribe Tribe. We are literally 1 minute and 32 seconds in, and we have 671 people here and 230 likes. So I need you guys to go ahead and migrate over to that thumbs up button and hit it real quick. Oh, look who's here. Tasha. Aaliyah is here as well, feeling empowered as fuck. Empowered AF. I love to see that. Good to see that. Big Boss Energy says, what mic are you using? None of your business. I can put it in the I can put it in my description box if you like. Yeah, how would you guys think about my new mic? Do you guys like my new mic? Brianna says, fuck yes. Fuck yes. How is everybody feeling? Are we good? Are we good? What I love is that we know, like, we're all together. And what's crazy is that earlier, like when I was getting ready for Astro Chat Live, I legit was running behind all day. Yo, if that's not Mercury retrograde, then I don't know what is. But I was running behind all day, sluggish as sluggish can be. But it's fine because I feel like with Mercury retrograde and most of all the planets being retrograde right now, the majority of us are sluggish AF. Like, how many of you guys, wait, hold on. Someone said, Sky Dane said, I'm exhausted, but I'm good. I feel that. Stacey says, weird. I feel weird. Yes, there's that too. It's been a weird energy that we're working with. But yeah, today's one of those days where it just is like, I don't know, like for me, after the eclipse, you guys, the eclipse was on July 5th. I'm just diving right into this chat right now. But the eclipse was on July 5th. And that thing was powerful. Did you guys set intentions? Because I did. I was working the oils for my clients. I was working intention for myself. My partner and I were talking about this morning about setting out specific time for setting intention for ourselves and the things that we wanted for our lives. Those are some things. And that's the other thing too, is that some of you guys are really, and I said this last week and the week before that, some of you guys are going to feel that superpower energy. It's going to feel like a surge, and the rest of us, or the other half of that, the other portion of that, is going to feel a little bit drained and exhausted. Factor in Mercury retrograde, and we have a hodgepodge of just, interesting energies that we're working with. And of course, we're going to talk about all of that today. Aaliyah says, I was exhausted all day yesterday. I know, same. It took me longer to work the intention oils than it does usually. And it had nothing to do with the fireworks popping off or anything like that. It was just it was like moment by moment by moment by moment. Everything was a slow buildup, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That has Capricorn energy written all over it. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull this chart up, and then you guys can let me know how you're feeling. I am working the best that I can from my iPad at this moment in time. Looks like I have my last client's chart pulled up. So for those of you guys that don't know, I pull the charts at astro.com. Pretty much it's a basic, simple, you guys can see the face mask at the very top, but it's pretty much a basic, simple astrology chart that I have that I'm pulling and referencing. That's it. That's all we got. Sometimes I take some notes and put them on the side, but for the most part, everything is pulled at the time for this week and what I can see moving forward into the future. But yeah, I wanted to check in with you guys. Wendy says that she's forgiving herself. I feel that so much. This is the week for those of you guys that don't know, or if you're not following me on Twitter or Instagram, but I feel like it was a tweet that I put out. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a tweet. If you don't know, and if you haven't heard, if you haven't seen my tweet, this is the week for just total breakthroughs when it comes to healing, when it comes to self-discovery, when it comes to physical, mental, emotional, spiritual healing, breakthroughs, and revelations. It is that serious. If you guys have been spending a lot within the last 2 to 3 years of if you've been spending a lot of time within the last 2 to 3 years of focusing on healing yourself, breaking free from generational curses and other things like that, emotional baggage, this is the week where you could really have a breakthrough with that. So shout out to that. You guys throw the hearts up if you've been waiting for that. Boaz, I love that name, by the way, says, why is your store always sold out? I would like to purchase products, but it's always sold out. First of all, Boaz, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate you. It's always sold out because it is that good. Okay, everything is made by hand. The intention, I take my time with my intention. So there's only so much that I can do. I have Mel, Ashley, and Eric helping me to pack things up and send them out. But for the most part, it is what it is. That's the beauty of intention and intentional magic, point blank period. But you can check my store out if you want. Thursdays, the shop update is usually Thursdays at 1:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of hearts coming up right now. So you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. You guys are vibing. So that's really good. Before we dive into the Astro Chat Live, we're at 7 minutes and we have 1,200 people who just tuned in. If you guys could do me a favor, if you guys could come close and do me a favor, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Take this time to go ahead and share this video and put a blast out or a text message or take a screenshot of me. If you need to, go ahead and take that screenshot of me to put on your social media if you'd like. No pressure, but pressure, but no pressure, but pressure. If you'd like. And then I'm going to go ahead and break down the rules for you. And then I'm going to explain to you guys why I shuffled cards in the beginning, because there's a reason for that. Okay, rule number 1 is... I don't really remember the rules. The one major rule that everyone remembers is, we have Mel and Eric here, and they are our moderators. Basically, what a moderator does is they are the gates to keep this space sacred and, to protect this space because it is something sacred. This is an hour that we take out of our time of my time and your time in order to plan for your week ahead. You are welcome to take notes. You are welcome to screen record. You are welcome to share. You are welcome to throw out comments, in the comment box. I see you guys dropping some of my rules. Thank you for looking out. I love that. All of that is welcome. If you need to tag anybody, do @BahatiLife, which is pretty much the name of my YouTube channel and also Twitter and all that other stuff. So you can go ahead and tag Bahati Life if you need to. You could take notes. Everything that we talk about you can catch it on a replay. It doesn't disappear. I have Astro Chat Lives from like last year that are still up. So that's there for you. You can take this time to just absorb, to collect, to connect. The more that you're open, the more that you're focused on what it is that I'm saying. Shout out to the 818 thumbs up right there. I love that. 818 and 808 has been the number for the last few months, but okay. But the more that you focus, the more that you tune in, the more that you're able to connect. QR Petty says, is she a Virgo? I get a Virgo energy from her. Yes, I am a Virgo. Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Cancer rising. So that's those rules. Try your best to focus on what it is that I'm saying because there's so much to gain from these Astro Chat Lives. I'm already seeing that you guys are tagging me in your posts on Instagram. So I really see that. I see that and I appreciate that. And also on Facebook. So I'm seeing that. Thank you guys. There we go. There's another tag. I appreciate you. I see the love. And I appreciate it. Okay, what's the next rule? Super chats. What is a super chat? Super chat, this will only take me 5 more minutes, I promise. Super chat is your ability to give money to the channel at the moment that we're live and your ability to put a comment in there. I'm watching you guys tag me. Thank you. The moment that you put it out there, That kind of highlights your comment outside of everybody else's. Of course, I love a super chat moment. I'm seeing this 111 or 1111 from Well Yes and Pace says, blessings, Jess. Good to see you. XOXOXO to handsome Franklin. He's taking a nap right now, but I'll pass on the love. Thank you so much. So pretty much what it does is it highlights your chat so that I can see it, and then it finances the super chat time. Okay. Yeah. So, but the thing is with the super chats is that I can't do any personal one-on-one questions. For example, Jess, am I going to win the lottery this week? That's a question that I'm not going to be able to answer for you because this is a general reading for a pretty hefty, good population. Hey, Tasha's here with a super chat. I love that. Yeah, so she just did it. That's a way that you could do it is by sending love and support. Or if you have a question that benefits the collective, then you go ahead and do that. When it comes to readings or anything like that, I'm shut down for the year, the rest of the year. Magic of Eden says, as a Capricorn, I am hardly impressed by others. However, you, my Virgo sister, have inspired me to start my spiritual business and keep up with my healing and vulnerability. Keep inspiring. And first of all, I love that vibe so much. And I also love the fact that you put 999 because that is truly the unpacking number, the number of unpacking. For those of you guys that are part of the Sacred Circle Tarot School, you know all about numerology because we talk about it all the time. But 999 is literally the number of unpacking. And when you're starting a new journey, you're ending a certain cycle of your life and it just kind of folds over into the next thing. And it's all about knowing what is that you want for yourself, knowing the fact that is that you manifested it. There's another 999 right there again. Ashley, thank you so much for the super chat. She goes, love, prayers, and blessings for you, Jess. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you, Boo. So good to see you. Okay, and then the final rule, I think. Oh, this is not the final rule. Feel free to say comments. Okay, this is a sacred space. Again, Mel and Eric are here to protect the circle so that we can say whatever it is that we say and whatever it is that we want to say. But the one thing that I will say is me personally, I'm an open book. I'm down for whatever, but I do not like, and what will bother me is comments about when can I take you out or anything sexual or anything else like that. If you're talking about, like physical things or like, dating or anything like that, that's some stuff will automatically get blocked. That's my boundary. I don't like talking about it. I don't like seeing it. That's just me. I don't like that. So keep it respectful. Be respectful to each other. I will not allow myself or the Bahati Vibe Tribe to ever get disrespected. I go hard for you guys and I go hard for myself. Laura says, don't hit on Jess. Exactly. None of that. And be respectful of each other. Don't be a creep. It never works. Being a creep never works. Like never. Okay. Not even on Halloween. It don't. Right. So Ashley says, respect the Jess. Exactly. And respect this tribe as well. If Mel or Eric see any type of level of disrespect, you will immediately get blocked, canceled, denied, rejected. We don't do that here. Okay. I'm going to catch up on your super chats in just a second. And then speaking of transparency and throat chakra vibes, wait, that's a weird transition. But speaking of speaking candidly and openly and blah, 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 blah. Wait, Jacina says, when was the last time being a creep got y'all a date? Eye emoji. That's what I'm saying. When has it ever worked? Not never. It's never worked. It's never worked. Mel said blocked. Exactly. So the last thing is that all those rules aside, one thing that I love, my favorite rule is the fact that you can say the word fuck. Literally, that's my favorite curse word. Everybody knows that. Fuck is my favorite curse word, and you can sprinkle it. Just pepper it, just season it, just season your conversation with it, season the Astro Chat Live with it. This is all about, in the spiritual community, sometimes we feel like we can't curse, that it's not spiritual or zen for us to curse, but sometimes saying a good fuck yeah, fuck no, fuck you, fuck that, fuck this, I'm out. Like, you was fucking right when you said it the first time. Like, sometimes it's good. It's good. Again, Facebook doesn't like it. I say this all the time, but Facebook doesn't like it. But it is what it is. If you have children under an 18, this is probably not the time for us to connect, but it is what it is. Literally, see how Facebook is kind of blocking it? Well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but Facebook is trying to block it right now. So Mel and Eric are probably trying to approve all of these messages. Saying fuck, shit, all of that other stuff is all right with me. It's good. It's good to release it. All right, so let me catch up on these super chats real quick, and then we can go ahead and dump jump into what this week is about, because there's a lot of stuff that we need to talk about this week. Okay, Josephina says, thank you. Green heart emoji, green heart emoji, green heart emoji, green heart emoji, blue emoji. You're welcome. And thank you so much for the super chat. And Ashley said, okay, I caught that super chat. Wonderful. All right. I think we're ready. So let me get my notes. Okay, I see that you guys are tagging me. I appreciate it so much. Let me get my notes, and you guys are free to go ahead and get your notes if you'd like. So the first thing that I want to say, and the first thing that stands out to me, is the fact that on July 5th, 12:22 is the time that I pulled the chart. So 12, that's my time of birth, by the way. So, oh my God, look at the thumbs up, you guys. We have 888. So 12:22 a.m. Roughly. Okay, so I pull the chart for myself. I don't check any other bloggers. I don't see what anyone else is doing. I stay very, very focused. So the time that I pulled for the chart for the eclipse was 12:22 a.m. or 12:25 a.m. July 5th, 2020. That was the Capricorn lunar eclipse. So basically, with a lunar eclipse, you have a surge, like a solar lunar combination surge of like anything that like is ready to set off in your life, anything that is ready to reveal itself in your life, anything that you have been avoiding, feelings that you need to feel, epiphanies that you need to I'm just kidding, that's not a real word, but epiphanies that need to happen, conversations that need to be held, feelings that need to be shared, all of those things, breakthroughs that need to be had, flights that need to be booked or canceled, people that need to be canceled, people that need to be connected with. The lunar eclipse has a really magical way of bringing that into your life, whether you feel ready for it, prepared or not. It literally is the universe's way of being like, I know that you're afraid, or I know that you're ready, and I'm going to push you out so that you make this jump. So I'm really interested in seeing how this, or hearing how this, how the lunar eclipse has worked for you. Basically what you would like to do, and you can still work with it if you haven't, because like I said, we're working with slower energy lately. A lot of us, we want to just rush off to the what is it called? We want to rush off to the finish line. If this was a race, we're just like trying to run as fast as we can. We've been training our whole lives for this, but something like your knees keep buckling, or there's something that's holding you back, or your shoes are untied, or there's people in the way, or there's a herd of elephants, wild elephants that cross the track, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Why is it that whenever I'm trying to run to the finish line, that something keeps showing up? Well, that's because you feel that burst, you feel that energy, you feel that spark, and you're ready to go. But we have Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Mercury. All of those planets are retrograde. Am I missing anything? Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Mercury. Yeah. All of these planets are currently retrograde. And for those of you guys, again, that are wondering, I'm pulling the chart real basic, simple. This is how I do it. Virgo precision, simple AF, bare bones. And this is just how I pull my charts. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the symbols in the chart of the moment. So yeah, I mean, there's all of these delays that keep happening, but that doesn't take away from the fact that, you know, this surge of energy is coming into your life. These surge of feelings that are coming into your life. These things are revealing themselves and pushing you to jump, or pushing you to cut out this relationship, or cut out this thing, or to make this move. But there's all of these obstacles that keep presenting themselves, that reminding you that, listen, we know, like, use this. We know that you're feeling this, and that you're using these feelings to propel you into your future. We have Mars. Mars is our planet of like our fire, our drive, right? It's our force. It is like revving to go, like right now, with Mars falling in a sign of Aries right now. It wants more than anything to power forward. Then when we have the eclipse giving us that surge of emotion or information that blasts into our periph. Well, originally it was in a periph. Now it's like zero focused in, like there's no denying it. So all of that, wait, hold on. Spoil it Rich says Neptune retrograde. So basically what happens with I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm missing Neptune retrograde as well. That's another thing too. But with that, that's like literally like our intuition and the way that we see things and the way that we feel things. It kind of also is a little wonky. Then you have to factor in again all of the rest of the planets: Saturn, Pluto, Mercury, communication, Jupiter. All of them are retrograde, so all of them are scaling back. Katrina says, "Can it make you feel sickly, like nauseous?" Absolutely. Not only that, if you guys hear any noise, it's me adjusting myself in the seat. I swear I'm not farting. But not only that, it can create infection. It can create how the mind controls the physical body. If the mind loses its power, if the mind loses its focus, if the mind is super sensitive during this time, you guys, pardon me, the mind and the energy is super sensitive during this time. Before all of these planets started going retrograde, the main message that I kept getting from spirit was be very careful what it is that you're consuming. That means not only is it physically what you're consuming, what you're eating, but what you're hearing, what your energy is absorbing, because you're entering into some of the most sensitive spaces in our history. It is that serious. This is legit in our history, the most sensitive placements. This is when you want to be very careful and mindful. My mind is like running a mile a minute right now because there's so much information that I'm receiving right now. But this is one of those things where you want to be careful to not run away from drugs, alcohol. Well, be careful of what you're consuming when it comes to drugs, alcohol, or anything like that. Don't use it to run to that and to escape. Reynolds says, drink some water, Jess. How about you drink some water? How about you don't tell me what to do? I've been drinking water all day. I'm good. Thank you. I can't stand it when people tell me what to do with stuff like that. Like, are you serious? You drink water. If you think that I'm dehydrated in any way, shape, or form, turn that mirror, just reflect it back on yourself and go take a break from Astro Chat Live. Go get yourself some ice. Go pour yourself some fresh spring water. You put a metal straw in it and you hydrate yourself before you tell me to hydrate myself. I'm good. Thank you. Anyways, back to what it was that I was saying. All of this energy is creating, these surges of feelings, these surges of your power, this surge of truth that is making itself known, that's highlighting itself in your life. And you're processing, you're doing all the best that you can to process this information. You're doing all that you can in order to connect with the divine. Some of you guys immediately, thank you guys for the the love in the comments. I appreciate it. I don't like it when people tell me what to do. I don't like that. I'm a grown-ass woman. Like, I'm good. Thank you. I hate to have an attitude right now, but again, like Mercury retrograde and like Mars and Aries, like now's not the time to tell a grown woman what to do with herself. Like, she's fine. Like, I'm thriving. Thank you, though. I appreciate your concern. But anyways, yeah, some of you guys are having these major breakthroughs as well when it comes to your own intuition, with developing your connection with the divine, like really plugging into divine's energy. And when you do that, it makes you so sensitive, because not only are you entering into a space, and this is something that we don't talk about enough in the spiritual community, is what it looks like when you really start to trust the divine, when you really start to connect with the divine. There's aspects of your life that spirit, the divine, God, the universe will say to you that this thing that you wanted for yourself, this thing that you saw for yourself, it would derail you. It would distract you. It would fuck you up. It's not good for you. And it actually, the more that you connect with your purpose, the more that you connect with your higher self, the more that you connect with the divine, you can no longer stay in a space of inauthenticity. Okay. And that's what happens right now with Neptune retrograde. I know that I'm saying a lot, but you guys can just receive this now and then pause it as needed so that you can catch it on the replay and write it down. But that's what happens with Neptune moving through the sign of Pisces, and including especially when Neptune is retrograde. That's what happens when our foundation, Saturn retrograde, is happening, breaking everything down. Our foundation, our world, our stability, our security, our world as we know it starts to crumble. And all we have to do is we're pushed into a space of total surrender. Pluto is the planet of control and manipulation and power. how we know ourselves to be powerful, how we know to control ourselves and to control others and control the world, not in a way that has negative or ill intention, but that's just how we are as human beings, is that we always try to, we don't mean to do it, but we do try to like understand our world and control it so that it's something that's unchanging, so that it's predictable, so that it's something that we understand. We have such a hard time sometimes accepting the fact that there is the unknown, but it's the unknown that is created there so that we are constantly relying on the divine. But that's a topic for another discussion. But when all of these things are breaking down around us and breaking down underneath us, it really pushes you into a space to be totally vulnerable and to rely on our faith, to rely on higher power, to rely on the divine, to rely on our intuition, and to really kind of push our logical brain aside. Okay. And when that happens, you guys, it really, you cannot be, like I said, you cannot stay in a space of inauthenticity. You're going to start getting these revelations and these truths that you can't hide from. You can't run from them. Okay. You have to really face them. You have to look at them and say that, you know, who am I? What is this? What are we doing? What are we building? And if it's not something that the universe supports, that's another conversation. But if it's not something that the universe supports, or if it's not for your highest and greatest good, it simply will not take off. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. You guys, give me some thumbs up if that makes sense, or some hearts if that makes sense. I'm curious to make sure that, you know, how this resonates with you guys. The other thing that I have to talk about is, again, back to the sensitivities. We have Cancer, Mercury, the vertex point in the sign of Cancer right now, okay? The eclipse happened in the sign of Capricorn, but it still was, the sun is still sitting in the sign of Cancer. So these walls and these boundaries that we have around ourselves, this way that we kind of guard ourselves from the world, all of those things are really getting, the word is that just came through is redefined. Those things are really getting redefined right now. Okay, so some of us are fighting with our egos. Do you guys remember last week when I went off with that intuitive message? It was our egos, right? That was a big common theme. Some people get offended by the word ego, but really what the word ego is, and what I mean to say when I use it, is that this is our way of looking at ourselves and knowing ourselves to be, when the ego is just our identity, but what are we really? Like, this is how we define ourselves. But Spirit says that you're constantly evolving. So how could you stay in the one definition? You're so complex. You're so, unique. So those are things that are really getting called into question right now. You're going to feel sensitive. You're going to feel emotionally triggered. You're going to want a deeper connection in your relationships and your partnerships. There might be a struggle and a battle for you guys to achieve that and to understand each other. Why understanding? Because Mercury retrograde. Mercury rules communication. It rules the mind. It rules the perception. Mercury moving through Cancer. You guys, these are perceptions and the way that we think that's embedded in us since childhood. Literally, let me say that again. This same mindset, the same perspective, the same feelings that we've had that are embedded in us since childhood, that are passed on through our family, are what are currently getting challenged lately. Cancer, I say this all the time. If you're a Cancer, let me know. Throw some hearts up in the comments. But Cancers are like, I don't want to say demonized in the zodiac, but they're the ones that are, I think, made fun of the most. And they're called like the crybabies. But Cancers are cardinal signs, you guys. Cancers are leaders. But the way that they rule is from their feelings. They rule from their emotions. They rule from their intuition and what makes them so sensitive. Cancer will take on, not that they absorb, you guys, because healthy boundaries. The opposite of Cancer is Capricorn. Capricorn is the king and the queen of boundaries, okay? If it wasn't for Capricorn's protection and Capricorn's boundaries, Cancer would never have a safe space to hide from the rest of the world, because of all that Cancer does for the world that comes from a space of they pull their power from their feelings, from their emotions. And it doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter if you're a Virgo or a Gemini. Cancer rising, Cancer Mercury, Cancer Sun, or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. There's something within your chart, a very soft spot, but also a place that you can pull your power from within your astrology chart, no matter what your rising sign is, no matter what your sun sign is, no matter what your moon sign is. Okay. So when we have this energy that's being ignited by the lunar eclipse, and you're being, some of you guys are being triggered, but it's literally like this mindset, these things that you hear, this way that you feel that you've had since your childhood for a lot of you guys, or maybe it's triggered by your family or people who feel like family, or the place that it is that you feel like that you belong. When you get triggered there, when your own family pushes you out, when your own friends reject you, when your own community doesn't want to have you, when the internet, you're trying to use your internet, you're trying to network and you can't fit in. These are things that it is that you, that Cancer energy is getting triggered right now. Definitely with this eclipse. So you guys really keep your mind on that. You guys got to watch how this eclipse is setting those things into motion. It can really be easy, you guys, when that happens. And let me know if you guys are feeling this. But with with Mars moving through Aries, it will literally trigger you to want to fight. It will make you, if you feel it, you will want to fight. But what we don't talk about is sometimes Aries will have to back out. Sometimes Aries energy, Mars and Aries, will have to back out and run for the hills, but with its ego, with its tail between its legs, because it couldn't do it. It believed in itself too much. It was overly confident. And when you start having to, go from this energy of bravado, or someone else that you're dealing with is only pulling from the space of bravado, and they're all talk and trying to be action, but they don't have what it takes. We have to be transparent, you guys, in the spiritual community. In the spiritual community, sometimes we're okay with talking about vulnerability, but sometimes we have a difficult time talking about what vulnerability looks like. All right. So wait, hold on. Princess Kui says, for real, I've been so irritable. Literally, that's Cancer. That's the Cancer. Well, the Capricorn eclipse, but Cancer getting triggered by that. And also Mars moving through Aries. It will create irritability unlike any other. Unlike any other. It's a real tough energy to work with. Tony says, I've been a bitch lately. Girl, you and me both. Me too. Me too. It is what it is. Then we have to factor in the fact that Mercury retrograde is creating this, miscommunication and perception. This is when two people, I can relate to this. Now I'm going to put this in my personal life. Like, this is a moment where I'm actually talking about my personal life. But this is one of those things where it's like, what you have to ask yourself, why are we having this argument? Where is this really coming from? What are we fighting for? And it really comes from a soft space. But if you peel back the layers, because there's always fucking layers, when you peel back the layers, you'll see that there's a really good heart there, that there's a really good core there. And more than anything, what the Cancer energy and what the universe wants for you is to have a space that it is that you belong, and to have deeper connection and to have stability within your connection. But you have to kind of go through these retrograde energies, this total dismantling of how you know yourself to be, of what you know strength to look like, of what you know power to look like, of how you may have accidentally, I can relate to this, how you may have manipulated. We have a hard time with the word manipulated, but manipulation means to do certain things in order to get a certain result. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. If your intention is good, then to manipulate something for your highest and greatest good is not necessarily a bad thing. It could really pay off for someone. But really, when we have this Jupiter, we want Jupiter retrograde right now. We want so much for ourselves. We want to be a leader. We want to experience abundance. We want to have more for ourselves and more from our experience. But there's so much that's being called into question. There's so many things that are being highlighted right now. We want to have security. We want to control. We want to have a firm foundation. We want to feel safe and provided for, but not at the expense of your health, your vitality, your purpose, and true love. The universe will not allow you to root yourself in a space that you don't belong, okay, at all, point blank. Pluto says that you think you're powerful, and I'm going to show you that you're not powerful. I'm going to show you that that's an addiction. I'm going to show you that this way of doing life and living life is actually unhealthy and is an addiction. It's not good for you at all. And it's when we have to self-assess ourselves, like we have to really self-assess and be vulnerable to the universe, be vulnerable to the divine and say, teach me right now, because I do not have the answers. I do not have the solution. Okay. And that's what it is that I'm saying, you guys. Be very mindful of, again, what it is that you're putting where it is that you're putting, what you're allowing into your energy, what it is that you're absorbing, what is that you're consuming. Okay. All right. What else do we have here that it is that I want to talk to you guys? Oh, this is probably one of the reasons why you're watching right now. Chiron, you guys. Yep. Chiron is falling in Aries at the moment, squaring off with Mercury, squaring off was squaring off with the sun. And then all of a sudden Mars is gonna move right on top of Chiron. That's really gonna trigger some wounds. So basically what Chiron is, you guys, this is, yes, Millie says Chiron, yes. So basically, if you guys are asking what Chiron is the wounded healer, right? It's this space within the chart. Hold on, someone spelled Chiron wrong. Baby Lie says, I have Chiron in my chart, spelling it Kyron. That's not how you spell it. That's not how you spell it. It's Chiron. Pardon me. I'm going to take a sip of water now because I'm dehydrated, because I'm not, because I have a tickle in my throat. ASMR. You guys are so funny. Chiron. I'm so sorry if this is bothering somebody. I'm so sorry. That's kind of cool though. It's kind of relaxing. I have a broken nail, so my ASMR is a little lackluster at best today because I've got nails here, but I got the one broken nail. But she's doing the best that she can with what she got. What she got ain't a whole lot. Okay, so Chiron. Okay, so basically what Chiron is, it's an asteroid, and it's the wounded healer, the point within the chart. Well, the asteroid that represents the wounded healer within your space. That's what I like to call it, the wounded healer. And basically what it is those deep set wounds that we all have. Almost like what just came to me is like your Achilles tendon. Am I saying that correctly? It's the spot that if it gets hit, it will take you down. It's the spot that no matter how much you spiritually progress, no matter how much you push yourself, no matter how much you can rise above or be the bigger person, when the Chiron within your chart gets triggered, or Chiron gets triggered in the world, it hurts so deep. It hurts so deep. And basically it's like, it shows your weak spot. It shows your deep wound, your soul wound. But I want you guys to take this, that the wound is your strength. Your vulnerability is your strength. And when you stop trying to run from that wounded space, when you try to ignore it, when you try to pretend like it's not there, when you pretend like it doesn't impact you, you make that wounded space worse. It starts to fester. Absolutely. And it's like, no matter how much work you progress, no matter how many lessons you've learned, no matter how much, again, you try to be the bigger person, you try to heal it, it's that space that just, if you touch it, it's going to bleed. We all have it. And I believe that the divine, the universe, has created that because it's there not to humble us, but to remind us that we all need healing. We all need each other. We all need softness. Hold on. Skywalker says, I like food. I've been so distracted lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I have been so easily distracted lately. It's Mercury retrograde, but that comment right there just hit me. I like food. Me too. Comment you guys' favorite food if you like. Okay. So Chiron retrograde is where it's the 6th now. I believe it's the 11th. Yeah. Chiron will start to turn retrograde on the 11th. And honestly, you guys, this is one of those moments when you have to be so easy with each other. You have to realize that every person that you deal with, every person that someone put tacos. Oh my God, I love tacos too. We are so distracted right now. Ooh, curry. I've been wanting Indian food for like the longest. Oh, Ethiopian tacos, pasta. We had pasta the other night. It was so good. Okay. But when it comes to Chiron, I'm going to focus again. I'm going to do my best because I feel like I'm like wonky astrologer right now. Thank you guys so much for the 1800 that is still watching and 1,000 thumbs ups right now that I just feel like I don't even really deserve because I'm so distracted right now. But yeah, it's Chiron's energy is that, oh, what I was talking about is the divine. I believe that the divine in the universe created Chiron's energy for each of us because we all need healing. And every single one of us is carrying a wound that we would never know it about each other. The way to look at that is to look at the chart. You can see in a person's chart how that person has been in this life or the lifetime before that been broken beyond measure, been broken beyond repair. And sometimes we look at that and we say that if I'm a human being and a part of me is fractured beyond repair, is me being broken in this way? Is this space of trauma, does this make me unlovable? Does this make me untouchable? Does this make me unreachable? And we will find, and when that spot gets hit, you guys, when that truth, whatever that is for each of us, when that spot gets hit, we do everything in our power because it hurts so deep, it messes with your life and beyond that. It makes it so that if there's like a loss or anything, when that spot gets touched, it almost feels like you will never be the same again. I've almost said that to myself when my Chiron was hit. And I said, how could I ever be normal again? How can I ever look at life and through a fresh lens? How can I ever have hope? How can I ever have faith? How can I ever love? How can I ever be normal? How can I ever walk forward again? And it hits that deep, and you'll find everything in your power to make sure that nothing ever hits that space because it hurts so deep. It's like nothing will ever touch it. But the thing is that spirit, the divine, in my belief, and I want to share this with you because I found this and I discovered this through astrology. The divine would never, when they say that spirit, like God or the divine, would never give you more than you can handle, it's debatable. A human being created that quote. I believe that the divine and spirit, God, does sometimes give us more than we can handle. Often. There are moments in your life that it is by the grace of God, it is by the grace of the universe that something comes in and saves you, saves your heart. It is that deep. And it's in those, that's literally the definition of a miracle, is that you shouldn't have been pulled out. You shouldn't have been saved. There shouldn't have been a breakthrough. How could you have lived through it? How could you even have faith? It's literally a miracle. That quote that God would never gives us more than we can handle, to me, that's a fallacy because how could it not? Chiron is the space within our lives that it is too much for us to handle. And it's through a miracle and that you connect with the right person, you hear the right word, that you ask for help, that you're at your rock bottom, that there's no one that can help you, but somehow, some way, something miraculous comes through and redefines you, redefines your existence, redefines the world as you know it, and pulls you up out of nowhere. And it's that same wounded space that got hit, that same thing that you thought that you could never relive is now what makes you the ultimate healer. It's those moments when you hit rock bottom. It can come through anywhere. It can come for anywhere for any one of us, where you say, again, people will tell you, the universe, God never gives you more than you can handle. But you're like, I don't even know that, because I can't handle this. Like, I'm struggling to handle this. This is because as a human being, you are not like physically manifested and, walking the face of this earth. You literally cannot, we are not capable. Our bodies are a tool. Our minds are tools, but our intuition, our spirit is real power. That's where you connect to the divine. That's when you connect to the universe. That's when you connect to infinite potential. That's when you can connect to unconditional love. That's where breakthroughs come through, breakthroughs and breakdowns. So when we have Chiron coming through, retrograde, you have to prepare yourself. All of us, every single one of us has to prepare ourselves for that wounded space to trigger. But every time we find the wound, every time there's a blemish, every time there's a broken space, a fracture, a crack in our spirit, in our hearts, light literally comes through, because that's when we finally recognize our perception, our ego gets totally dismantled and thrown out. And that's when the spirit floods in. The divine, the universe's unconditional love comes in and floods in and tries to not repair the crack, but fill it with love, to the point where if you keep cracking and you keep breaking, all you are is love. I want to say that again. That same fractured space that you guys, that heartbroken spot, you say to yourself, this is bad that I feel so broken. It feels bad, of course, because the ego, man, it's the ego that was holding that together. But when that ego starts to crack away, when that shell of how you know yourself to be starts to fall apart, that thing that you've been holding on to, that belief that you can control, that you have power, that you're this or you're that, or this is the reality, or this can only be this way. That's what you've been holding on to. That's why it's so painful, is because that's not real. Like, hold on, like Sri Bree says, love is the highest vibration. Absolutely. When you get cracked open like that, spirit comes in and does everything to pour into you, to the point where you have nothing left but love. Unconditional love. And it's not that you can't be broken. It's the fact that you're not afraid to be broken, because when you're broken, spirit comes in and gives you everything that you've ever wanted, and everything that you've been holding on to and building your life upon has been one big motherfucking fallacy. Am I speaking lies? I know I'm not. So when Chiron sits there and that wounded space gets triggered, that is the same. Once that spot happens, that's the same spot that you, me, Eric, Mel, your mom, your dad, if you're willing, if I'm willing, that's when we enter into a space of, I'm now a healer. The healer needs healing, and the healer heals. And who can understand the journey and the experience better than you? And if that's truly the case, then there's somebody who needs you. There's somebody who needs your perspective. There's somebody who needs your transparency. There's somebody who needs your authenticity. There's someone who needs your message. There's someone who needs your love. There's someone who needs your support. There's someone who needs you to be there for them, and vice versa. That same spot that you were working to protect and to guard and to make sure that no one ever sees that broken space of you is now the same spot that the divine is going to tell you to go and share with the entire world, or with this person, because that's the same thing that person needs in order to have a breakthrough within their life, so that the entire world can be healed. It is that serious. It is that heavy. And in that moment, you guys, Neptune retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Mercury retrograde. I want to ask you, what exactly are you holding on to right now? What exactly are you protecting? What exactly are you running away from? What exactly can you not face? What exactly is too hard for you to handle? What exactly is the straw that broke the camel's back? Because that's the same thing that needs to be seen. now and moving forward into the months to come. Chiron retrograde comes in with this big swooping force and says, I know that you've been running. I know that this hurts. I know that it's too much for you to handle. I know that people are going to give you all these fillers and all these quotes, and you're going to look for healing in all these different ways on Instagram, on social media, in your relationships, in your work, in your purpose, and all those things. But the real healing is going to come from that moment when you break down, you have a breakthrough, and you get poured into by the divine. The universe is so good. God is so good. The divine is so good. You can call it whatever you want. Call it whatever you want. Whatever your God is, whatever your goddess is, whatever. Whatever you want to call it. It's so interesting too, you guys, because Chiron retrograde is actually going to be happening in the sign of Aries. Aries is the sign that says, I am. This is who I am. This is where I pull my power from. I can do it. So it's these affirmations that can really help to heal us. It's these affirmations and these words that we speak. It's these things that we do. Why do? Because Aries is all about the do. Aries is all about, I want to strive. I want to try. I'm going to put myself out there. Aries, I don't even know why I said try right now. Aries doesn't try. Aries does. Or at least it tries to. And if it fails, because it happens, that's when Aries runs back with its tail between its legs and disappears. Aries, am I right? Every single one of my Aries. You guys know what I'm saying. Aries sun, Aries moon, Aries ascendant, Aries rising. Oh, I said that. Ascendant and rising are the same thing. You guys are so funny. So funny. But when Chiron goes retrograde in the sign of Aries, well, I mean, it's like really starts to make you question who you are, your identity, your personal power, what makes you feel strong, what makes you feel weak. You really will be like, can I do this? Can I do this? Am I strong enough? Do I have what it takes? And when the answer is no, because that's going to come through, that's going to be a breakthrough. When the answer is no, and when you figure out that there's certain aspects of your life that you should not go it alone, that it wouldn't make sense for you to go it alone, that's when you have to ask yourself, well, who do I need? The very opposite of Aries is Libra. Libra is the opposite. They go hand in hand. Libra is all about partnerships. Libra says, I don't want to do this alone. Where is my Aries companion? Where is my leader? Let's do this together. Let's harmonize. Let's equate. Let's come together. Let's do this. Let's link up, arm in arm, partnership. Finally, for the first time, Libra is the first time that it says, wait. But wait, there's more for 3 easy payments. I'm just kidding. No, but Libra is the first time in the zodiac, if you look at it, that it says, wait, what about the other? And then all of a sudden you start focusing on the other. All of a sudden you start looking for your other half. And that other half is different for every single one of us. It could be the relationship of your dreams. It could be the fact that you've been doing it independently all this time. And you really do need to start calling in for a relationship because the universe wants you to have that. It could be the fact that you need to rely more on your archangels. It could be the fact that you need to rely on the divine. There was a lightning bolt that just came out. You guys should see the clouds right now. Follow me on my personal Instagram at Jessica X Alexandria because I do like cloud cam like 3 times a day. It's that serious. 3 times a day I show pictures of the clouds and videos of the clouds. Look, you guys, look at my power animal. So this is my animal totem, one of my animal totems and one of my power animals. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a cow. And literally this is like 2 things coming together to nurture each other, to nourish each other. Mia says, yes, why are we arguing? Exactly. Ask yourself that. All right, you guys. So literally that's pretty much all I can say right now for Astro Chat Live because we have a storm coming that's going to probably knock out the internet a little bit. And I'm also having these hardcore boundaries with the time frame. Oh my God, Josie says, hey, Jess, can I send you the cutest cow pic? Please. Oh my God, please. Yes. Cows, astrology, and tarot are my love languages. Right. Okay. So, anyways, that's pretty much what I can share right now. I hate to close it off like that, but just so you guys know, shop update is Thursday. I feel like we're ending abruptly, but that lightning bolt just kind of spoke to me just now. But yeah, shop update is Thursday at 1:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday. You can follow me and find me on Instagram at Bahati Life. That's B as in boy, E as in egg, H as in hey. You come here often. A as in apple, T as in tiger, I as in intellect, L as in life, whatever. So Bahati Life, y'all get it. If you guys have any questions about anything that I said, you can go ahead and send it over to info@Bahati Life, my email address. If there's any topics that I can help you guys with, go ahead and send that as a video request on at info@Bahati Life, and then I'll put it up on my YouTube channel. Word of mouth is everything. That's what has grown Bahati Life up until this point, is authenticity and the messages and all that other stuff. So if you can continue to share with your friends, share with your people, share with your tribe, your community, it really does make a difference. The Sacred Circle Tarot School is still enrolling. Pretty much what that is a really intense deep dive into the realms of tarot and learning the tarot on a deeper level. Numerology and symbolism and history and all those things are factored in, as well as intuition. Eric just put the email on there, which was info@Bahati Life if you need to. Oh, did someone put my power number? Thank you guys so much for the super chat. Hold on, let me catch up on these super chats. Okay. Melanie Spurgeon says, Jess, you changed my life. Thank you. Thank you, boo. And that hot pink color is everything. Thank you so much for that super chat. And thank you so much for letting me know. That really means a lot to me. Carol sent 1111. I appreciate you so much. And then Kyla says 1122, which is my power number, says you've helped me heal and evolve so much. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Mula Monroe says